Dixon. One here a year ago, Jeff Gordon back in the field. Who will be behind the wheel of the 88 when cars go to Watkins Glen next weekend? Next weekend, we will be on USA because the Olympics are kicking off. And so make sure to join us next Sunday on USA. Matt Benedetto is actually showing the USA colors. And we will be racing Watkins Glen on USA Network next weekend. Kyle Larson back out on track. Larson has broken into the top 10 as far as one lap speed. And the last lap he ran was his fastest. He is 9th quickest on the chart.
Hey Rick, we're getting to that point in practice with just under 21 minutes left that most teams are swapped over. You want to try to get out there and qualifying trim because remember, this is group qualifying again. So you're going to have to go out and not run just one good lap. But if you want to advance through the rounds, you have to run good on stickers. You have to run good on stuffs. You have to run good on, 2-run tires. You see in the chase standings, Kyle Larson has recovered well from that 15-point penalty that he got earlier in the year. That lap actually moves off to 6 on the board. Last week was good to Kyle Larson. Good solid race. We saw some teams have trouble at the end, and now he's plus 10 above that chase line.
Interesting to see that just happen as we were talking about it. His 8th lap was his fastest, then his 9th lap was his fastest, now his 10th lap was his fastest. Are we going to see speeds continue to increase in qualifying later when these drivers are out there in either the first round, second round, or third round?
We are, and for some reason, and I swear the drivers lie to the crew chief.
Never.
This is a track that if you go run right now fast as Ryan Newman at a 51 flat, basically. For some reason, this is a track, Jeff, that come qualifying, speeds seem to always pick up a bunch, not a 1/10 of a second. It seems like if you can go a little harder into all 3 corners and carry, say, 1 mile an hour down these long straightaways, it equates to a ton of lap time. The problem is the opposite. One bobble, and you lose time down the whole straightaway. So later in qualifying, when you tune in, you watch that tracker, you're going to see it go from red to green easily down these long straightaways.
Kyle's going to the garage. Let's do the same. Marty?
Jimmy Johnson also in the garage, in between garage stalls, having a little chat with Clint Boyer while they're out of the race cars. And Jimmy's team switching over to qualifying trim here on the last race run. He said the final change that Jack Knaus made hurt him, actually. He was too tight getting back to the throttle, but no time in this abbreviated practice to stay in race trim and work on that. They got to go to qualifying trim. And it's interesting because when he came to pit road last time, he practiced a hot entry into pit road. He said when he slowed down, the car wheel hopped a good bit. Jack Knaus kind of went, maybe something we should look at. So, big concern to you, Mr. Crew Chief. Steve, are you worried about that when you wheel hop coming to pit road?
Well, Marty, you have concern just because with the adjustment of rules over time, a lot of those parts and pieces in your car you're stuck with, Rick. So you can't change the transmission, you can't change the rear gear anymore. So other than taking it out to inspect it, the team's going to have to find something physically wrong with it to make it change. So while one wheel hop here or there doesn't normally damage parts and pieces, Jeff talked earlier about how wear on transmission. Remember, they're shifting here, so all day long they're going to go from 3rd to 4th. That is something we don't normally see.
And not the finishes that Ryan Blaney has been hoping for over the last 3 races. 35th at Kentucky, 11th New Hampshire, 36th at Indianapolis. This is why he finished 36th a week ago. Involved in this incident. Look at the one not having anywhere to go, and all the damage that took place to that Woods Brothers machine.
And I think the thing about this team is I think they have enough speed to get themselves back in the chase. They're down there in 20th right now, but I think all the teams ahead of them have to be looking at them saying, this is their biggest threat in my eyes of coming from behind. You got Casey Kane, who's in 17th right now. Of course, Bernhardt Jr., he's able to come back soon. He'll be a threat as well. Right. So, but this team, it's hard for me to imagine that they're down in 20th in points. They run so much better than that, but that's where they are. But there's enough time for them to get themselves back if they can just finish the way that they run.
Blaney's had success here. He won in the Truck Series at Pocono. Parker.
Thanks, Rick. I actually just spoke to Ryan Blaney's team, and they did a race run here at the beginning and then it took them a while to get over to qualifying trim and switch over. They felt like they were pretty happy with this race car. And actually, in talking to them, the reason they felt very confident in the race car, even before they got on track today, was they said this setup is very similar to they ran here earlier this year. And therefore, even if they didn't get on track or get a lot of time on track, they were feeling pretty confident heading into qualifying.
So Ryan coming back into the attention of his crew.